Good morning, students. In this session, in a biomolecules chapter, today we will discuss about the reducing sugar and non-reducing sugar. So, let's we discuss about the reducing sugar. Reducing sugars are those which gives positive tolerance taste, which shows positive tolerance test. As we know, in the structure of glucose, there is functional group aldehyde or ketone present. So in the case of glucose, there is the functional group aldehyde present, and total number of carbon is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. As we discussed earlier, the position 3, the OH group in the left side and all other OH group placed in right side. So, and their conformation of different functional group already discussed about the different chemical reaction. So, second one means on the fifth carbon atom OH group placed in the right side, so it is called the D glucose. So DL notation is, students, suppose we have a functional group like this, suppose CH, OH and CH2OH. Simplest monosaccharides, simple uh, compounds of glucose, simple compounds of monosaccharides. So in a particular functional group, the OH group placed in the right hand side, so it is remarked as a D. Whatever the suppose it is glyceraldehyde, diglyceraldehyde, whenever the OH group present in the left side means second, uh, 1, 2, 3 position, second position, so it is also called the mirror image of this. So if written like this, so in that condition the OH group is left hand side, so it is known as L-glyceraldehyde. So in this way we can configure the different monosaccharides. So it is the D-glucose, and how can we find out that it is a reducing sugar or non-reducing sugar? So whenever the compound treated with tolerance test, which shows if the compound shows a positive tolerance test, that means it is a reducing sugar. Tolerance test and Fehling test, because we all know about that. Fehling solution and tolerance solution when treated with aldehydes compound gives the positive test. So when if the compound, suppose this compound is present, this is the functional group ketone. If we treated the tolerance test or Fehling test, the test not given by the compound ketone. So tolerance and Fehling test distinguish to identify the compound is aldehyde or ketone. So let's we discuss, because here is the positive test given by this compound, because here is aldehyde group present. So this compound give the positive tolerance test. If the compound gives the positive test, that means this compound is the reducing sugar. When we talk about the cyclic structure, because we have already discussed the three forms of glucose and fructose. One is open and second one is alpha and beta cyclic form. So let's we discuss the cyclic form of this D-glucose. So first draw the structure of glucose, as we discussed the how the anomeric form by the D-glucose, in which alpha glucose and beta D-glucose. So present of OH group at the first carbon, if OH group present the right side, it is called the alpha form. If the OH group present left side on the, suppose this is the first carbon, in that case it is called the beta forms. So it is the beta D-glucose because we placed OH group here. This is 1, this is 2, this is third carbon, fourth carbon, fifth carbon and sixth carbon. So and arrangement of up, down, left, in this way we already know the arrangement of cyclic form, how we cyclic form right side if right side OH group is written in the down or left side up. So left side up and right side down. So in this way we can arrange the this particular beta D-glucose in the cyclic form. So here is H, position 1, position 2, position 2 OH group is the right side, so right down. So it is written here OH, and position 1, 2, 3, 4, so third position OH group up. In this way you can draw the structure of beta D glucose. So for knowing which type of glucose gives the positive tolerances, the conditions are given. The carbon, suppose this is the first carbon, so carbon must be bonded with one OH group, one H group, one ether group. This is the ether, one ether group, means the compound must be in the hemiacetal form. Hemiacetal form. So in aldehyde chapter we have already discussed about the hemiacetal form, the carbon in which one hydroxyl group and one ether group is present is known as hemiacetal form. Means this particular first carbon, in this carbon is one side OH group, one side H group and one side ether group. So this carbon is connected with 3 group and must be ether group present here. So this is the form, hemiacetal form. We can say that this is the hemiacetal form, and if the this particular compound is hemiacetal form, this means this will be reducing sugar. So this compound gives the positive tolerance test because it is the hemiacetal form of aldehyde. So in this way you can form hemiacetal form, means carbon one side OH group and one side H group, one OR group and one other carbon. So this 1, 2 and 3. So this carbon connected with 1, 2, 3 and 4. In this way you can find out the sugar in which conditions is necessary. Carbon must be connected with one side OH group, one side ether group, one side H. Carbon directly joined with the ether group. This is the necessary condition for reducing sugar. Let's discuss the another example and we find out this particular sugar is reducing or not. So let me draw the structure of so suppose this is the, let's discuss the next. Suppose this is if we draw the structure like structure of sugar, sorry, sucrose, not sugar. This is the structure of sucrose. Sucrose is a disaccharides. Disaccharides. So HOH, OH, then H, then H, then OH, CH2OH, and H, H, OH, OH, H, H, and CH2OH. So let's find out the ether group connected with the carbon. Suppose this carbon is by which ether group is connected. So one ether group is present, one H group is present, but one OH group is missing. So in that condition, and find out other point also. Suppose this carbon is connected with ether, but OH group is not directly attached with it, because OH group is attached with this carbon. This carbon is not directly attached with OH. So this carbon, if this consider this carbon, this is connected with ether but not directly attached with OH group. So it is not the reducing sugar. So in this way you can find out the given sample is a reducing or non-reducing sugar. Non-reducing sugar. So condition must be required. Conditions required for the reducing sugar must be hemiacetal form. Must be hemiacetal form. Means carbon connected with one OH group, one ether group, and one hydrogen. So if carbon containing this particular form, this means this particular sugar is the reducing, otherwise the sugar is non-reducing. So let me discuss next topic, that is amino acids. Amino acids. So amino acids, as the name clearly shows, there is the presence of one amine group, and acid means one carboxylic acid group. So if the compound containing both the functional group, this means it is called the amino acids. NH2, COOH and H, and there is the alkyl group. So if we compare the functional group, this is senior than the amine. In that condition, this is called the carbon. Functional group attached with carbon is called the alpha, and it is known as alpha amino acid. Alpha amino acid. This is the naturally occurring amino acid. It is the naturally occurring amino acid. So on the position of the carbon, alpha, beta, gamma, so on, we can discuss later on. So let me discuss classify by two ways. The next topic is the classification of amino acid. So classified by two ways. First, position by amine, position of amine with respect to the carboxyl group, to the carboxylic acid. carboxylic acid. Next way is the number of amino group, number of amino group and number of carboxyl group. Carboxylic acid. It may be classified as a acidic, basic or neutral amino acids. So, at first we discuss about the acidic amino acid. Acidic amino acids. Obviously, amino acids containing more number of acid. For example, suppose COOH, C, H, H, C, COOH and NH2 and H. It is called the aspartic acid. Aspartic acid. Aspartic acid. So in short it is written as a AST. So in this particular compound, carboxylic acid, number of carboxylic acid is more than the amino group. So we can consider it is the acidic amino acid. Next example, suppose this COOH and CH, C, NH2 and it is the H and it is the COOH. So it is the same compound. Here is also it is so. Next we discuss the glutamic acid. Suppose we write the structure of glutamic acid. So see the structure of glutamic acid in the book and you can draw the structure glutamic acid. So it is also considered as a acidic amino acid. So next one is the basic amino acid. Basic amino acid. Basic amino acid means more number of amine than the carboxyl group. For example, NH2, CH2 whole 4 and COOH and one NH2 group also here written. So here is the number of amino group is more than the number of acid. So it is called the basic amino acid and it is the lysine, L-I-S-N-E. Lysine, histidine also. So structure of histidine like suppose it is written as it is the structure of histidine. So more number of amine group in comparison to acidic group. One here and one here. So in this way you can learn the name of only, not the structure, name of the basic amino acid and the acidic amino acid. Next one is the neutral amino acid. As the name clearly, neutral means equal number of. Third one is neutral. Neutral amino acids means equal number of carboxyl group and amino group. So most common example is the glycine, alanine. 2 is the most common example of neutral amino acids. So next the discussion of configuration of alpha amino acids. Alpha amino acid except glycine, because glycine is the only amino acid which is optically inactive. So suppose glycine, we can write here the structure of glycine like H, instead of alkyl group also H present, and here is the NH2 and here is the COOH. So if we draw the structure, of glycine, so we see here the alpha amino acid in which carbon is not chiral, and if the carbon is not chiral, that means it is optically inactive, because for chirality carbon of the compound must be bonded with 4 different groups. So here is the same atom present, so in that condition this particular compound is optically inactive because their carbon is not chiral. So chirality is the condition for structure or configuration of alpha amino acid. Suppose naturally alpha amino acid attached with 4 different groups, and then it is asymmetric center, means chiral center. As a result, amino acid are optically active. For example, suppose we write the CH3 instead, alkyl group CH3 and 1 hydrogen, 1 amino group and 1 COOH group. So this carbon is optically active because here is the chirality center made. So if we see the mirror image of particular this compound, it look like this: CH2, NH2 and COOH. So this is the structure of alanine. So in this way we can find out the property of amino acid, which one will be optically active or inactive. So except glycine, all the naturally occurring amino acid is optically active in nature because there is the chirality present in their compound. Carbon is bonded with 3 different group of atoms. So in this way we can distinguish the alpha amino acid. Classification of amino acids. There are total 20 amino acids present. Total number of amino acid are 20, which is classified in 2 ways: essential and non-essential amino acids. out of 20, 10 are essential and 10 are non-essential. So how can we distinguish which one is essential and which one is non-essential amino acid? So simply, which amino acid is synthesized by our body, so it is called the non-essential, means it is synthesized by our body, so it is called non-essential amino acid, and which can't be synthesized by our body. So in this way, simply we can distinguish what is the difference between essential and non-essential amino acids. So those amino acids which can be synthesized by our body is known as non-essential, and those amino acids which cannot be synthesized by our body is called the essential amino acid we can take by outing source. Next one is the physical property. So let's discuss the physical property.